getting this Deadlight assembly ready to install has taken a little time. The way I thought it was going to be installed was that I'd install the inside trim, put the glass in from the outside, bed it against that trim, and then install the outer trim. So I did that, and I installed the trim on the inside, and then I fit the glass from the outside. And I noticed there was just a massive gap between the trim and the glass. Like more than a 1/4 inch. And I thought, that can't be right. That's just too much. The outer molding didn't even bear on the glass at all. And I couldn't see how it was going to work. So I figured what that actually meant is that these have to get installed from the inside. So the reverse of what I had thought, which means that this outside trim will get installed first. And I'll press the glass up against it from inside like you see here. I've got a couple of padded blocks, some tape for safety, and 2 braces. I'll show you this on the inside. So that just took a little while to figure that out. And I know this is the better way. This is the right way. And the big gap on the inside is not going to matter. All the bedding really should happen on the outside. And while there will be sealant on the inside, that's not the main seal. The seal has to be when I install this trim. It's got to be behind the trim, and it's got to be between the glass and the trim. That's what's important to seal this. So that's what this is going to accomplish. This is all dry fit. This is all marked, and I have the glass held in place so that I could mark this tape and trim the tape. I probably don't need the tape, but I'm going to have it on there anyway, just to help me clean up. So now that this is all set, I'll go back inside, remove the glass, and then I'll remove this trim and install it permanently in the sealant. I'm going to use Sika 295 UV for this, black. It's good sealant for this purpose. It's made for installing glass, and that's what we're going to use here. This is the setup inside the boat to hold the glass in place while the sealant cures. This is just dry fit at the moment, so I could mark my tape. But I've got a couple blocks up against the glass with some rags on them, and then these cross braces that run across the boat. And that just presses the glass up against the back side of the trim. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this, just enough to hold it tightly. I don't want to force that old trim to have to withstand too much. Next, I removed the dry fit trim, and this is all ready to go now for final installation. I've got all the trim laid out. All the screws are set up to the extent that I can. A couple of the holes are a little sloppy. And I'm ready to get some sealant on this and install. Put some plastic down over the deck to protect it. And the next step is to goop this, which I'm not going to film. It's too hard. This Deadlight is now installed. Installation went pretty smoothly. I started out here on the exterior, put down a couple good beads of sealant where all the trim goes, and then I installed the trim from outside with all these screws, cleaned up the sealant. Then from inside, I put a heavy bead of the sealant on the inside of the trim and pressed the glass into place. Making sure I had a good seal all the way around. And then it's braced from inside with a couple of braces that run across the boat, and these 2x4s here that have rags on them for protection. A couple strips of tape that I put in just to kind of hold the glass while I set up the braces. But I had good squeeze out on the outside all the way around the glass. And as far as I know, this should all be a good seal. I mean, let's hope. That's the point of all this, but you never really know. I like to have so much sealant applied that when you put stuff in place, you squeeze out more than you put in, more than stays in the joint. And to me, that's how you figure out that you have enough and that you're going to have a good seal. So this setup will cure overnight or longer, however long it's going to take. Once I feel like it's good and solid, I'll take those braces down on the inside and finish with the interior trim. This is not what you want to see first thing in the morning. I came up here to check on the sealant, and I see these cracks in the glass. They were not there yesterday. They did not happen during installation. For some reason, the glass decided to crack sometime after I left this. I don't know why. But that is very discouraging. So I guess I'm going to take this all out. Hope that I can keep this trim together and get this glass replicated. That is an incredibly discouraging sight, and I don't understand why it happened. I mean, I know it wasn't there yesterday when I finished, and I know it didn't appear during installation because I would have seen it. And I've got the photos and all to show it too, so I don't really know why this happened. That's the worst part of it. It's not like I even remember doing something stupid that caused that. And that's happened before during installing these. Glass can be touchy. And I have broken glass windows like this in other types of installations, not quite like this. But I don't know why it happened on this. I mean, the pressure on these pads is light. I just don't understand, quite honestly. But there it is. It's got to be dealt with. Here's a view from the inside before I've done anything. You can just see that crack. Goes way up here, goes all the way down. And another one here, both from the same general area. It's the center of the glass. There's no pressure on it. I swear this has gotten bigger even since I started looking at it today. So, the way these cracks go, like in your windshield, suddenly they'll just spread across the whole thing. This is laminated glass as well. So I spent, 10 or 15 minutes quietly wailing in a dark corner over the misfortune that befell me. And then I got up here and got to work, and well under an hour later, and we're back to zero. Once I had the trim off and the glass out, I scraped up the old, not very old sealant, which was pretty easy because it wasn't that fully cured. And this looks dark now because I've just washed it all with paint thinner. It still hasn't dried out. But I got the bulk of the old seal. I keep saying old. Like, I got the bulk of the sealant I installed 24 hours ago out of here. And anything that's left will cure, and I can easily scrape it away later. But, most of it came off quite cleanly now with minimal work because it was still wet enough to get on my hands. This time it didn't take too long to take this out. A, I knew what I was doing. B, all the screws were brand new. And C, the sealant was not really fully cured. It hasn't even been 24 hours, not even close. And I didn't really have to worry about the glass. Not that I tried to trash it, but even just trying to peel the trim off the outside caused some issues here with the glass up against it. Anyway, the glass is still in one piece and able to be duplicated. So I'll take this out to a glass shop and get a new piece made, and we'll live to fight another day.